Good afternoon. I'm Chesley Knowles, Chair of the Partners in Prevention Steering Committee. The September 9th, 2020 meeting of Partners in Prevention Steering Committee is now called to order. Today's meeting is being conducted via teleconference and recorded for future viewing. Due to the format of this meeting, we will begin today with a roll call to confirm members of the Partners in Prevention Steering Committee are present and able to participate. Committee members, when I call your name, will you please respond in the affirmative if you are present? Shalonda Adams.
Present.
Lois Collins.
Present.
Carol Greenwald.
Present.
Clint Holmes. Nicole Janner. Okay. Also, we will do a roll call of the Partners in Prevention staff. Partners in Prevention Manager Holly Fuller.
Present.
Director of Mentoring and Longview Bridges Out of Poverty, Lyndell McAllister.
Present.
Program and Outreach Coordinator Taylor Thornton.
Present.
Mentoring Coordinator and Coalition for Drug-Free Youth Liaison, Whitney Pierce.
Present.
Grant Technician Patty Eason.
Present.
Administrative Assistant Jordan Forbes.
Present.
Receptionist Garlene Hillhouse. Mentoring Program Coordinator Bonnie Hull.
Present.
Mentoring Coordinator Marcellus Dudley. Mentoring Coordinator Adora Hall.
Present.
Mentoring Recruiter Kendra Tennyson. Okay.
Ms. Knowles?
Yes.
Ms. Janner is here. We had a little bit of audio trouble, but it looks like her mic is unmuted now.
Yes, I'm here. Thank you.
Okay, great. Okay, we will move into the review and approval of the July 8th, 2020 Partners in Prevention minutes. Those were included in an email to the committee last week. We'll take a minute to review if you have not already. And if there is a motion to approve the minutes from July 8th, 2020.
This is Shalonda Adams. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from July 8th, 2020.
Thank you, Shalonda. Would anybody like to second?
Nicole Yonner. I'll second that.
Thank you. Okay, the July 8th, 2020 Partners in Prevention meeting minutes have been approved. We'll now look at the expenditure report. And if you'll take a moment to review if you haven't already. And if anyone would like to motion to approve.
Motion to approve, Carol Greenwald.
Okay. Any second?
Nicole Yonner. I'll second that as well.
Thank you. All in favor to approve the expenditure report from October 2019 to July 2020, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, the expenditure report has been approved. And I realized I made a mistake on the minutes. I did not give everyone a chance to say if they agreed or did not agree with approval. Do we need to do that now?
You can just go ahead and call for that, Chesley, because you
Okay.
had a motion and a second.
Okay, we had a motion and a second to approve the July 8th, 2020 steering committee minutes. All in favor of approval, please say aye.
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 Is
Aye.
anyone opposed? Okay, the minutes are officially approved. Okay, we will move on to staff reports next.
Good afternoon,
And
everyone. This is Whitney Pierce, and I'm going to give just a brief update on what the Coalition for Drug-Free Youth has been up to, and also what we're going to be doing in the future as COVID-19 continues on and hopefully ends rather quicker than later. So if you will see on the PowerPoint, first off, I do want to bring attention up to this date. This year we have collected, actually incinerated 390 pounds of prescription drugs. And if you'll notice, that is the equivalent weight to a bear. We always like to give that imagery to people because they, you think that 390 pounds is a lot, but when you compare it to things, it really puts into perspective how much that weight is that we're removing off the streets. And then the second thing, we have collected 75 pounds of sharp syringes at our Longview Fire Department. And I do want to highlight on that, if you have spare needles, sharps, whatever lying around the house, or you may know someone, a family member that needs to get rid of those. Our hospitals a lot of time will not take those. So we do have our fire department that is collecting those. And I think it's a limit of 10 per month that you can bring there, but that is a prevention method that we have in place. And the equivalent for that is 12.5 red bricks. So you know how heavy bricks are. So being able to remove that many, I think is a real big positive for our community. And then if you'll draw attention to the overdose rate with our opioids, that has increased last year from 5% to 18%. So as you can imagine with COVID, the isolation rate is really high with our youth right now. And so that opioid overdose rate has increased, which we did an interview on that with CBS 19 last week just to kind of highlight how that is increasing and ways that we can hopefully help to prevent that as COVID continues. And then just the last point about all substance use, marijuana, I was reading an article the other day that has gone up dramatically with our youth. The vaping rate, as you can imagine, that has gone up probably, I think it was about 15 or more %. And then alcohol use, of course, that's always our number one, but that has increased as well. So all the things that we focus on have been increasing at an alarming rate, and we are just trying to put in fundamental things to be able to keep that down or just maintain it at a level that's not going to get worse as COVID continues. And then next, some updates that in our future things that are coming up, our partnerships. So this week is National Suicide Prevention Week, and you kind of wonder, what is our tie with that? Well, when you think about COVID-19 and the isolation rate being so high, our kids are turning to substances to help cope with that. And so suicide and substance use directly correlate. And so we are teaming up with Pine Cherie right now, the high school, to give out pamphlets with ECADA and the Longview Police Department to try and lower that rate so we don't have more of those happening. And then we, as I said earlier, we did do an opioid interview with CBS 19 last week, giving some prevention methods for our community using the drop box, the syringe disposal, just ways that if you notice people are increasing with mental health or whatever that may be, looking and making sure you're seeing those signs, ways that you can get in touch with your physician or the teledoc or whatever that may be to get help for people that might be facing that. Our committee right now is talking about doing virtual events. We have 2 that we're working on, and I won't announce those yet because we're still in the works, but just know that COVID hasn't slowed down the coalition. We are still actively trying to figure out ways that we can do things while we're not meeting in person, because we know and we value the importance of reducing the drug use rate with our kiddos. So we're trying to help with that. And then the last thing I just want to talk about, our monthly CIV meeting. So September 24th is going to be our next meeting, and that's at 11. And of course, that's virtual. And we are going to have some guest speakers. We're working on getting that confirmed right now from the Attorney General Office as well as Health and Human Services Commission. The Attorney General Office will be talking about opioid use and some prevention methods that they're doing with the Attorney General, as well as the Health and Human Services Commission, talking about how youth can be a part of prevention and ways that they can help and be part at the table with that. So really great things that are going on, and just want you to know that we are still very much in prevention mode and trying to figure out ways to be creative while this is going on right now.
Thank you, Whitney. Any questions for Whitney? Okay. Is there a report from Aspire Mentoring Program?
There is, Chesley. This is Lyndell, McAllister, and so we have lots going on with the mentoring program. So the first thing I want to mention to you is, well, you see our new logo, and we've even renamed the mentoring program to Aspire. And did we talk about that last time? I'm not sure, but
It wasn't official, I think.
yeah, so it's now officially been put out on social media and to our mentors, and we're excited about this name change. We think it was an important time in the life of the mentoring program to make that kind of switch from the Forever Friends co-pilots to Aspire Mentoring Program. And it really grew out of both comments from federal grantors that were looking at our program, and another entity that suggested to us that we upgrade and rebrand our program with a more current sounding name. So we're excited about that. And the image, our Kendra Tennyson has worked closely with a young woman who's done it for us on the side, and we think she's done a great job. And Holly has coordinated it so that the colors and all of that go well with the City of Longview's colors. So we are excited about that change. I think the next slide is our Drive to Aspire Golf Challenge.
Richard, yeah.
Thank you. So we're having a golf tournament. The golf tournament was originally scheduled for June, and that wasn't a good time to be having any type of fundraiser. And so we're very excited about this Friday, October 23rd, Tempest Golf course is where this event will take place. And it is the main fundraiser that we do for the mentoring program. It's very important to funding to keep our staffing levels where we need them to be to do the work that we're doing in the community. This will be our first year to have it at Tempest Golf Course. We've always had it at Wood Hollow, and you'll see that there are sponsorships available. We're looking for people that would be willing to play golf. We really want to have golfers on the golf course that morning of Friday, October the 23rd. If you're available to help with that, if you'll just let us know, we would love to have you. But we particularly, if you know golfers or people who might be willing to sponsor that understand the importance of mentoring in the lives of young people, we would really appreciate your input about that. So that's our big event that's coming up in October. This is a very busy time. Always September is for the mentoring program with school starting up. And this particular year has been challenging, has required lots of innovation and lots of redesigning how we do the work that we do, because what we know is that young people are still very much in need of extra adult support in times like this. So you'll see the cover to our last month's virtual activities. So each month we're sending out a packet with 3 to 4 activities that encourage different ways mentors can engage with mentees through virtual activities. So we've done things like sent them sunflower seeds that they could grow, This particular one talks about the time capsule, and mentors and mentees can talk about things that they would put into a time capsule to look back on. Table talks are topics that they can talk about with one another. So just trying to equip our mentors to better engage with their mentees in a time where meeting in person is still pretty limited. We do have some of our mentoring matches that are meeting at parks and social distancing, but many of them are texting and calling and connecting virtually. We are shifting our Forever Friends program normally meets in groups this time of year on the school campuses. This is an unusual year, so we are going to teach our group facilitators next week, actually, the same day next week, how to do Zoom group activities with their groups. So some of our students we know are meeting virtually, some are going to school, and we are locating all of those matches and making sure that they're meeting and giving them an opportunity to meet monthly in a group situation through Zoom. So we'll be having a training at Montcalm for our group facilitators. This is the non-appearance related comments is just an example of what some of the training pieces that we will involve them in when they come on that day. So non-appearance related compliments are what are things we can say to young people that don't involve how they look, their appearance, that is more about who they are, character traits, and just really honing in on important qualities that we're wanting to grow and the young people that we're working with. So just giving you a little capsule of what that looks like. Our mentoring team has worked so hard to make this shift to help mentors really connect virtually and engage with their mentors and recognize the importance of it to do that in a time where kids are more isolated than they've probably ever been. So if you have questions, we invite your questions. Oh, so we have one more slide, and we did Marcellus Dudley, our newest staff member, and I met with a new mentoring match. They did have their mask. I hope you see those in hand. We met at the park. It was hard to keep that little boy from wanting to hug that mentor. He was so excited about having, it's a 5th grade boy who was really excited to have a mentor. He said to us at the time, I've been wanting a mentor for a really long time. And so we were excited that that match was able to happen and that they're going to continue to meet. The man in this picture is what a person that they call the singing bus driver. His name is Robert Morgan, and he's the singing bus driver in Kilgore, and really is one that connects very well with kids. They use him across that district to work with young people who are needing extra adult support. So back to our new name and logo that we're so thrilled with. If you have questions, I invite your questions or comments.
Looks like y'all are doing a really great job, Lyndell, despite the difficulty in being able to meet face to face.
Thank you, Chesley. We're working hard at it. This team is working hard at it.
Yeah. Any other questions or comments for Lyndell? Okay, unity and diversity.
Okie dokie. Hello, everybody. This is Taylor. As you see, we have a new logo as well that coincides with our PIP logo, our Aspire logo, and we are very excited about that. So for August, we had our UDC meeting, which we did this a little bit differently, and we let our UDC members kind of interact with each other and figure out ways where we can have group discussions and talk about a virtual event that we can have. And as a result of this virtual event, we broadcasted a poll, and our UDC members thought that it would be perfect for our September meeting to talk about the importance of Hispanic Heritage Month. So as you may know from last time, our Longview Listen session has been postponed to a later date to be announced. And Terry Reese, who is an amazing presenter, he conducted a short interview on our Facebook Live. However, we had some technical difficulties, so we redid the video, and this video is available. It's titled Climate Control, and it teaches us basically some tips, and if you have any questions, Terry has some answers to that as it relates to our climate, our racial climate in our nation. So you can find this video on YouTube, or you can simply go to Longview Unity and Diversity on Facebook.
And there's been a new link from
Okay, and on that previous flyer, there was also a new link that has been added to find and locate that video as well. So on our Facebook page, we have started something called the word of the day. So this is just an example of one of the words that we've used. So if you want to check our Facebook page out, you can go on there. We'll have a word of the day. Some of the words may be familiar, some of the words may not be familiar, but it's just a way to interact and to kind of just keep these words alive and keep the conversation going. And all of the words are related to unity and diversity in some form or fashion. On our Facebook page, we also have a tribute to Jimmy Isaac, who was a Unity and Diversity Committee member who has passed away recently. So if you'd like to check out the tribute of some very inspiring and encouraging words that Jimmy left for us at our July UDC meeting, you can check that tribute out. We also honored World Humanitarian Day. If you search that hashtag on social media, you can see some of our local humanitarians here in Longview. So that's kind of something that we did on social media. Our upcoming event that we have, of course, is our Hispanic Heritage Month UDC meeting. And for this meeting, we're doing it a little bit differently. Instead of having one speaker, we're going to have multiple speakers. We're going to have a PAR officer, we're going to have our UDC member, and then we're also going to have a guest. We also have our October meeting coming up, where we will be kicking off our Global Diversity Awareness Month. And for this particular meeting, we're going to have a guest speaker. His name is Rory, and he's the former bodyguard to President Nelson Mandela. So we're very, very excited to have this September meeting and this October meeting. And we also have our Unity Honors nominations have been posted. You can go to longviewtexas.gov/Unity Honors. If you'd like to submit any nominations for special recognition or honorees, the deadline is November the 6th. And you can also use the QR codes that you see on this flyer, and it can lead you directly to the link. So as we get ready to go into October, as I stated, we're going to kick off Global Diversity Awareness Month with our meeting with Rory. Then we're going to go to our Family Diversity Movie Night, which will be held on October the 9th. From these list of movies, you can do this from the comfort of your own home. You can get you some popcorn, some snacks, and each of these movies that you see on here display inclusiveness, diversity, and unity in some form or fashion. So you can sit with your family and discuss how to bring more diversity awareness into your home. The next event that we'll have is October the 16th, Paint with a Purpose. You can find a diverse canvas or a diverse painting, and you can simply go on YouTube. You can Google DIY painting with a twist. You can get some of these materials at your local stores, and you can just have a nice family night and explain the diverse canvas that you picked, why you picked it, and you can hang it up in your home. The next event that we're going to have will be held on October 22nd, and all of these events are virtual, and you can use the hashtag to kind of keep up with what everyone is doing. So when we do this diversity vision board party, you can go and find magazines that you normally wouldn't purchase or you normally wouldn't see, and find different words and different pictures, and kind of talk about in your family, how is this diverse, and what are we going to do in our household to keep diversity alive. Then we're going to have a scavenger hunt on October the 30th. And basically, you just tailor this list to your family members. For example, if you want to say, locate the oldest historically Black college or university, then you would just tell your children, your family members, and you would just have them to locate this on Google, Bing, or whatever social media site that you have. And this is another way to learn and be interactive as well. For any other events that we're having coming up virtually, you can follow us on our Facebook page, and we are very excited about the events that we have coming up.
Taylor, when did you say was the deadline to, I think, nominate somebody for the Unity Honors?
November the 6th.
November 6th. Okay. All right. Thanks. Any questions or comments for Taylor? All right. Then we'll roll into the program manager report.
Okay, thank you. Before I begin my report, I want to just take a moment to tell y'all about a very special person that passed away this past weekend that was instrumental in bringing Partners in Prevention even alive here in Longview. And her name is Alice Day. And she was the director of the Drug Task Force, Longview Drug Task Force, which is now Partners in Prevention. And she had a vision of Partners in Prevention becoming a community coalition. This has been now almost 30 years ago. Alice lost her battle with cancer this past weekend. And although Alice did not have a very long tenure with the city of Longview, she did leave a legacy. Alice was instrumental in starting the Race Relations Committee, and in 2008, she received the Unity Honors Award for her lifetime work in creating racial harmony and standing against injustice. It has now been more than 20 years since she turned the reins over of Partners in Prevention, yet she is still continuing to be part of our work and has supported us throughout the years. Two quotes that I learned from Alice in my early days of being hired on here at the city by her, and they're still part of Partners in Prevention's DNA. And those two quotes are: people support what they help create, and there's always room at the table. My hope is that those words will forever remain true as we continue coalition work and partner with community members to transform lives in Longview. I'm sorry for getting choked up, but I think that just tells of what a special person Alice was. And you know, Lyndell got to work with her longer than I did. And we were talking yesterday about I only worked with her for about 1.5 years before she went on to a different job in Austin. But you can tell just even 20-something years later, the impact that she had on the work that we're doing, and she continued to have an impact in the legacy that she's left. So thank you for that. I just felt like that at this time we needed to acknowledge all the work that she had put forth to bring us where we are today. So I'll move on with my report now. During the roll call, you may have heard two new names, Jordan Forbes and Marcellus Dudley. They are both new members here at Partners in Prevention. As you'll recall, Erica got married and moved on to a different life in a different location with her husband, and so we welcome Jordan to Partners in Prevention in July. She has been outstanding so far. Know that will continue, and so you have been getting emails from her already, and I'll be looking forward to the day that y'all can actually meet her in person. And then Marcellus Dudley, who is our newest mentoring coordinator, who took Steve Vance's position after he moved on to go to a teaching career. And so again, I'll be looking forward to a time that you can meet Marcellus. So he is mostly working with the male mentors and mentees, which we used to refer to as co-pilots. So he is taking that on that role and working very hard to make matches in this very unusual climate that we have going on. Also, the logos, you've already seen some of those. We are very proud of these, and we're working on getting copies of the Coalition for Drug-Free Youth and the Longview Bridges Out of Poverty, which will look very similar to these. You can tell they all have a common theme as far as color and so forth. So when we get those, we'll be putting those out and sharing those with you as well. For those of y'all who have been members of the steering committee, you know that this has been a discussion that we've had in the past and for quite some time, and it's just been cost prohibitive for us to be able to do anything like this until we had an incredible donor who provided us and earmarked some funding specifically to rename or to update and kind of rebrand the mentoring program. And so we just felt like it all made sense for us to do it all at one time. So along with this, we're updating the Friends of Partners in Prevention website and some of our flyers and things. And so you'll be seeing that as well, just to kind of freshen our look a little bit and tie in a little more closely with the look of the city logo, as Lyndell mentioned earlier. Our Longview Bridges Out of Poverty, we graduated a class. They're continuing to meet on a monthly basis, social distancing and so forth. And that's going well. We had some good success stories. We have one lady that recently graduated, but she's continuing to come to the Staying Ahead class, and she has a temporary job going door to door with the census, taking census. So that's good for her that she's being able to acquire some, even though it's temporary employment. Our funding is going well. As you know, we have funding through the city and then also through our Friends of Partners in Prevention that help support our programs. So we recently got our award recognition or our award assignment from United Way, our local Longview United Way. So that was good to have, pretty much at the same funding level as we did last year. We're still waiting to hear back from Youth Collaboratory for our Mentoring Plus, if that will be a possibility for us to be part of that funding again come the spring of 2021. Also, the grant that the city received for coronavirus, for PPE and some different prevention efforts, that we are sharing that grant with the police department. So that has given us a little extra funding for administrative duties that we'll be doing with that grant. At this time, we will still plan to continue meeting via this platform, teleconference platform. We will take our lead from the Longview City Council and whatever recommendations the governor has. So our next meeting is scheduled for November the 11th, and it is truly my hope that we will all be in one room and sharing information. And we have new staff members and new committee members that we've not got to meet face to face yet. So I'm hoping that our next meeting, November 11th, we will be able to do that in person. In the meantime, if you will please continue sharing any information about Partners in Prevention, especially some of our information about our new logo, our new look through social media, we would very much appreciate that. So we have a presence on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I don't have anything else to report at this time, but I'm happy to answer any questions anyone may have.
This is Carol. I'm just wanted to comment on the logos. Those really are nice, and they certainly tie everything together. So congratulations on having that donor that helped to make that possible. Those are beautiful. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you. We look forward to getting the other ones done. We're quite proud of them and glad we've been able to do this. Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Yeah, I agree. I think the new logos and colors look really, really good. And I'm glad that your program has been able to accomplish that. Sounds like y'all are doing a lot of good work.
Thank you. This team, I like to brag on them a lot because every one of them they work hard and they're dedicated, and it has even been more challenging since March to do the work we're doing. But these are some innovative thinkers we have on our team, and they are strategizing and coming up with new ways to continue to help our volunteers, equip them and engage them, as well as the people in the community working to help.
Well, thank you to you and your team. It does take innovative thinkers to come up with the virtual events. I don't think I could do that.
Doing a good job of it.
Yeah. Any other questions or comments? Okay. We will move on to the citizens' comment portion of the meeting. Those wishing to participate in citizens' comment today were invited to access the meeting through a link to register with the teleconferencing application. Richard Yakeley with the city's media department is coordinating the technical side of the meeting and will assist with moderating the citizens' comment portion of our meeting. Richard, do we have anyone who would like to comment?
No, it does not appear that there's anyone looking to comment at this time.
Okay. All right. Well, with that is 2:11, and we will adjourn the meeting.